Okay, boys and girls, let's get ready to go in and take out some human enemies in Guild Wars. So let's go to missions and Guild Wars, and we're going to find the battle of interest under Junkyard 6A. So we've got two enemy missions to take on here. Let's start the first one and talk our way through. So, human enemy. First thing is you can check out my team. As you've heard me say before, I love Sasha, Mercer, and Yumiko. If you don't have Sasha, Mercer, and Yumiko, use who you have and do your best to set up your team. I do prefer ranged heroes when I can do that, and make sure that they have upgraded weapons and gear. You'll also see my supports on the bottom. Again, Sasha has Walker Mike, so she has the ability every 10 turns to walk past some walkers. Mercer has Carol's Cookies, which again, once every 10 turns, he can use to blast everything he's got against his enemy target. And Yumiko has Michonne's Rainbow Cat, which will give her the ability, and possibly one of her teammates, an extra charge attack. So before we go in, let's take a look so we can prepare ourselves for our enemy. So I'm gonna look at the enemy traits. So they're using Glenn, Rosita, and Shane, not the Shane we know, but another Shane who is apparently a warrior. So Glenn and Shane, I can't let them get close to me, but the good news is because I'm using ranged weapons, I have a good opportunity, as long as I can manage my distance, to take them out before they can get close and do anything. The one that I'm going to keep a closer eye on is Rosita, because she will have a ranged weapon and she can reach me over longer distances and possibly even ignite me with fire or something like that. So I'm definitely going to take out whoever is my most immediate threat, but distance aside, my number one priority will be Rosita first and then the other two. So let's kind of take a look and see what weapons they've got. So Glenn is not using a legendary weapon. Of course, in Guild Wars, the Defenders' weapons and gear have all the traits automatically unlocked on them. So even if in real life the other team member didn't unlock these, in Guild Wars they are unlocked. So they've got all these different traits, and we could take a look here, right? We can see, for instance, that he's got threat reduction, swift strike, and so on. So you can examine, if you like, the various characteristics of their weapons and gear. I'm really most interested in Rosita's because I want to see, for instance, if she had an incendiary weapon, and it appears that she does not. She does, however, have a stun attack. So, again, she is definitely a threat to me. I don't want her to stun my people. So because she has a weapon that can stun, and because the assault weapons tend to shoot in a wide arc, I want to make sure I don't keep my people close together, because if she stunned all three of them, I'm out of commission. And the opponent and the walkers have free reign on me. So I need to protect myself in that way by not bunching my heroes up. And then her Shane character, or their Shane character, it's got a weapon, but it's nothing I'm particularly concerned about. So with that said, let's go ahead and earn ourselves 20 victory points and some spending money for the store. So let's start the mission. Now, I do understand my weapons and my heroes are at a level that may exceed yours. But the ideas that I'm applying will apply to anyone. So the first thing I want to do here is, remember, I'm in no rush. This is a turn-by-turn game, so they're not going to come and attack me just by looking at the field here. I have plenty of time to assess and to decide how I am going to tackle the problem and win this battle. So I can see two of the opponent's characters. I cannot see the third one. The third one is going to be the warrior. So as long as they're not too close to me, not too much of a threat. I am going to be wary of barriers where walkers or the person enemies can hide. Glenn happens to be a little closer right now, so he seems the obvious target to take out. I definitely want to start to weaken him. Rosita, because she's an assault, there's only a couple of assault weapons that will shoot a very long range. So in all likelihood, her weapon is going to be able to shoot only a shorter distance. I still don't want to get in her range, though. But she's the number one person that I do want to take out at my first opportunity. So let me just kind of go ahead and see what we can do. Let's advance Yumiko a little bit. And I don't want to move her too far. I only like to take short movements, not big ones. You see how it's a quick movement here? And when I take a quick movement, she'll still have another action left. So she could walk farther, or she can shoot a weapon, or she can use a tool. She can do any of those things as long as I take only a quick step, which is like half her move. But if I go beyond that and it starts to turn blue, she will have no moves left to make. You'll also notice that if I move this far, Glenn has just been alerted and he's going to go on the attack. But if I come here, he's not even going to notice her. So I'm going to come here. She can see him. She can shoot him. So I think what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and take one attack. All right. So Glenn is on fire and Glenn is bleeding. Glenn is going to be a short timer. That doesn't mean I can be careless, because he can still come and stab me if I get too close to him or allow him too close. And by the way, Glenn can move a long distance, so I do have to keep pretty far away. So I'm going to, I think, bring my Mercer up here a little bit. He's not the strongest in terms of his attacks, but since Glenn is so weak right now, he probably can take him out. Also, the weapon, you notice Glenn got jerked back a little bit. That's because the weapon that Mercer has the characteristic of being able, at least occasionally, to send the opponent back. And you'll also notice that Glenn is currently ensnared, so we will let him be. So he's not much threat to me right now. You see, he's kind of stuck back there. He can't move. He can't move quickly, even if he could move. I brought Sasha forward a little bit. She cannot quite reach Rosita yet, so I'll go ahead and take a shot and finish off Glenn. Oh, now Rosita came forward. Rosita's in trouble because my people automatically attacked her. That's one of the beauties of having my leader as Sasha and Mercer and Yumiko on my team, is that even in between moves, they can take preemptive attacks. So they have crippled Rosita, and Rosita is in trouble from these other walkers. I actually am going to play a little bit. It's not something that I need to do, because really I can just take Rosita out here, but I want to demonstrate for you how you can use a flare to your advantage to help get the walkers to be your ally. So I'm actually taking this flare. I've got Sasha in business here, and she's going to throw that flare right on top of Rosita. And now you notice all of the walkers attacking Rosita at the bait. So again, normally if I was playing here, I would go ahead and I would take Rosita out, or at least try to finish her off. But I really want to demonstrate for you how you can allow the walkers to help you. And you'll see the walkers are going to be chewing on her for like 2 turns here. So she might move out of there, but she's going to take some damage in the meantime. She's a little busy right now. So I think I'll come over here just for grins, and I'll move Mercer. He's got that nice wide angle, and see if he can do something with these two walkers that are creeping up on us. There we go. All right. So I think we're just going to let that lie for a minute. You notice Shane way back in the corner. He's a little bit out of my reach, and I don't think I'm in no particular hurry here, so I'll just go ahead and let him move a little bit. All right, so it looks like Rosita's trying to help herself a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and move my Sasha up. I'm going to use a charge attack with Sasha. That will give her 2 opportunities to shoot. So, well, it's going to put her right back where she was with the, maybe I won't do that. Maybe I'll go ahead and use Sasha just because she's better positioned to start attacking Shane. So I'll do that. And I'll do that knowing that I can still take care of Rosita. I have confidence that I can do that. I can do that by utilizing Yumiko. And by the way, let me show you how this support on Yumiko works. She doesn't have any charge points. You see the little dots underneath her picture. She doesn't have any charge points right now. And she does need 2 charge points in order to be able to actually have an extra shoot. But if I go ahead and use this little Michonne's cat on her, and you see now she has 1 charge point under there. When she kills anything, she'll get a 2nd charge point, and on her next turn, she will have the ability to have an extra attack. So right now, I really want to take out Rosita. I don't want to let her get away. I'm not really concerned about those walkers near Mercer or putting Yumiko there because I know I can have Mercer take care of them. So I'm going to go ahead and take that risk. You may not want to take that kind of a risk. I just happen to know my weapons and characters pretty well. So see, he took care of that. All right, we're going to end the turn. And Shane is down. Everybody's down. We just won the game. All right. There was one example. Let's do another one. And we'll see what we see. All right. Here's another human enemy. So again, same team. I'm not changing teams and weapons all the time. I already set up, how I like things pretty well for almost any type of a mission. And unless I have some really particular need to make a change, I'm just going to let it be. But let's check out who our opponent is on this mission. So this time we've got Brandon. Brandon's got, looks like an ensnaring weapon, so has the ability to root me for a turn, and also it's a long range weapon, being that he's a hunter, but it's not a strong weapon. You'll notice it's blue. Blue it actually is strong, but it's not the strongest. Gold is the strongest. And then underneath there, we've got green, and then the basic brown ones or even gray ones. Basically, yeah, don't use those. Use your stronger weapons. When you get gold weapons, use gold weapons when you can. So let's take a look at Glenn. All right, so our opponent has equipped Glenn with a legendary weapon or a gold weapon here. There's no incendiary. There's no ensnare, there's no rooting, but there is a brain stab. All this tells me is that I really want to keep away from Glenn and take him out. And likewise, Morgan is a bruiser, so he can't shoot me. He is lucky, and he is strategic, and he does have smash, so he can be pretty strong. He does have ensnare, so if he whaps me, he still has a chance to slow me down and keep me from moving, but I'm really, again, not too worried about him. If he gets close, I'll take care of him. Otherwise, I'll wear him down from a distance. Now, as I mentioned, I realize that my particular heroes, and especially my weapons and my gear, is pretty strong right now. And it probably will take time for you to get some of this similar types of weapons and similar upgrades in your arsenal. But use some of the same ideas and use the basic idea of wearing down your opponent. If you can't take your opponent out on a single hit or 2 hits, then take as many hits as you need. And while you're doing it, control your distances both from the human enemy and also from encroaching walkers. So let's start the mission. Here we go. Okay, so I'm looking at the battlefield, and guess what? I have no idea where my enemy is. Again, I'm going to take small moves, not big moves. No, no, no. Small moves. I actually like a 2-move rule because with 2 moves, I'm less likely to find a surprise around a corner and be able to manage my distance. If I start to take 3 steps, 4 steps, 5 steps, and I'm unclear about what's around the corners, I might find a surprise. So again, this helps me to control my positioning on the battlefield. Now that Sasha has moved forward, we can see where the enemies are. Suddenly they're in view. And the first thing I notice is that the hunter, what's his name? Brandon something, I can't even read it. And the scout, Glenn, are bunched up together. Now, I could normally just start attacking Brandon. If you have them, this is a good time to think about using tools. If you don't have tools, don't worry about it. Just use your distancing and your positioning to help you. But because I do have tools, I want to show you again how I might use them. So I could use a regular grenade or a blast grenade to really give these guys a wallop. And that's exactly what Sasha is going to do. She is going to shoot down here. Actually, you know what? I made a mistake. You see what my mistake was? My mistake is that my grenade cannot reach both of them from here. I can only reach one. So that will kind of defeat the purpose of using a grenade here, because I wanted to use it so I could hit both of those enemies. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel and not use a grenade yet. But I'll go ahead. She can strike one of them with her punch, and I will be able, by the way, she's going to be exposed when she does this. It's going to advance her foot. You can see where that green shield looking thing is. That's where her feet are going to be when she's done making this attack. And that means if the hunter is not down, he'll be able to shoot back at her. And I don't want that to happen. But I'm still going to make this move anyway. And the reason is, again, because I know my team. And I know my team's strength. And I know the strength of their weapons. And I'm confident that I will be able to shoot that hunter out with Yumiko and Mercer. So, let me go ahead and make the attack. I pays my money. And look, you see Sasha is currently rooted. That's because Brandon had the ability to do a counter attack, and he rooted Sasha. So she can't move for 2 moves now. But don't worry. We can take care of that. So here's Yumiko. Oh my goodness, Yumiko. Now that I've moved Yumiko forward, if you look over at the opponent, Brandon and Glenn, you'll see that both of them are in her range. That means she can use the grenade. And she can damage both of them. Now, dollars to donuts, Brandon's going to be a goner. And if not, we can take him out pretty quickly. And Glenn is going to take some damage here. Boom. Now, Brandon's gone. Glenn is bleeding. Let's bring Mercer up a little bit. He's a little too far away to do anything with Glenn. But remember, my particular characters have the ability to shoot automatically if these opponents start coming into their range. So Even though, you know, Sasha's kind of stuck there, she can still shoot. And boom. And we took out Glenn automatically. All right. Now, these walkers coming up behind me. Yeah, you know, I don't want them to get Sasha here. Maybe I'll do something about that because she's still stuck for one turn. But it's actually unlikely that either of these walkers is going to reach her in the next turn. Possibly one of them can, because they can move. A standard walker can move 2 spaces at a time, and if he moves next to me, he can take a swipe. So he could move up next to Sasha and take a swipe at her. So maybe I want to do something about that. But really, my number one objective here, of course, is to deal with Morgan. Because as soon as he's gone, it's game over. So I don't want to move my people over to the upper right-hand corner where those other walkers are unless I take them out. So let's see, what will we do? I think we'll be patient and maybe use Mercer to deal with these 2 walkers. And again, you can see those little orange arrows or yellow arrows pointing downward, meaning that his particular weapon has the ability to send those walkers back. That'll actually put them both out of reach of Sasha, even if it hadn't taken them out. All right. Now, Sasha cannot shoot Morgan right now. She really can't do anything right now. Nobody's in her range. So, hey, look at Yumiko. Yumiko now has 1 charge point. If I use Michonne's cat, that'll give her 2 charge points, and then she'll be able to shoot twice. That means she'll be able to shoot Morgan twice on this turn. Let's do that. Oh, and look, she also shared a charge point with Mercer, so on his next turn, Mercer has a chance to shoot too. But you know what? Probably he won't need to, because this is probably going to be over. Oh, and look, because my weapon has the ability to stun, Morgan is stunned. He can't do anything while I shoot him again. Boom. Game over. We won. Victory. Okay. We can probably wash, rinse, and repeat this kind of thing several times, but hopefully there were a few things in there that gave you some ideas to play with to improve your ability and your confidence in handling person versus person walkers, and especially in managing your distance and your spaces when you're in the game. See you later. Bye.